My weight loss journey is quite interesting. I grew up here in Chicago, both parents, just normal childhood, never really had any weight issues. It wasn't until I became a teenager that I noticed that my weight was just skyrocketing out of control and was just eating whatever in sight and whatever I could find. It seemed like I really think I had a weight gain issue. After my father passed away, that's when I really started to take a bigger look into my family, and I noticed that most of the women were unfortunately overweight and out of shape, and everybody was on some type of medication, whether it was diabetes or high blood pressure. And I just really knew I did not want to take that route in life. I knew that I needed to change my life. I needed to change what I was eating, and I really needed to incorporate working out in order to change my body. I met my trainer, and I learned more about clean eating and working out, and learned that I could transform my body. And I know that it's hard work, but I know that if I can do this, anybody can do it. It just takes getting up and getting in motion.
Our ultimate transformation story today is Fran Thurman.
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much for coming. I can't wait for people to hear your story. You know, I was sitting down the other day, and you know we do a transformation story on every one of my shows.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I asked myself, I said, Self, are people going to get tired of hearing about weight loss transformation stories?
No, not, yeah.
And I was like, maybe not. But then, and I sat there and I thought for a minute, because I really wanted to, tell producer Tony that maybe we shouldn't do these every show.
Right.
But then I realized that there are so many people who are trying to lose weight.
Yes.
Everybody's trying to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody doesn't make the connection at the same time.
Right.
So they hear a story this week, they hear a story the next week, but they don't make that connection that day. Mm-hmm. So it's when they make that connection that's most important. So we can tell this story 100 times, and it may not be until the 101 time that somebody actually makes the connection. And that's when I realized, no, people aren't going to get tired of hearing these stories.
Right.
These stories are always going to be relevant and good and impactful for somebody. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm glad you're here to tell your story, because I know today somebody out there is going to make a connection with you, and they are going to change their life.
I hope so.
They're going to change their life. Absolutely. So tell me your story. Why did you think you needed to lose weight?
Okay, well, it was shortly after my father passed away. That's when I realized that something was wrong in my family. I noticed that most of the women especially were just, like, everybody was overweight. Everybody's beautiful, but everybody's overweight, and everybody's giving and kind and sweet, but I just noticed that something was wrong. Most of the women in my family, like 30 to 40, were on all these medications, diabetes, high blood pressure. And I just knew I did not want to take that route. And at the time, mind you, I was like 18 years old. So I realized that, and I started doing my own research. And by research, I mean I found out, certain foods that I was eating, they could cause these problems down the road.
Right.
And it scared me. And it made me take a look into myself, and I needed to be responsible.
Yeah.
Here it is, I'm 18. I can't blame my parents.
Right.
And it wasn't their fault to begin with. They were only teaching me what they knew.
Right.
So I started doing some research on my own and doing some reading and finding out about meal prepping. And I ended up meeting with my trainer, who I've been with now for, I think, 5 years. And that kind of got me started, the meal prepping and my own research. And then when I met my trainer, it just skyrocketed off after that. Yeah.
The meal prepping is crucial, because
yes,
the proportions and, and I talk.
That scale.
I know.
That
It's very crucial. It is definitely crucial. And, when we go to the restaurants, learning how to have portion control is so important. It's definitely important. And like I said, when you know better, you do better.
You do.
And that's crucial in your weight loss journey. So what kept you motivated? A lot of things have happened. You've gone through that emotional stage. It's almost like, the 9 steps of sobriety.
Yeah.
You kind of go through those steps. And so you went through that, you lost your father, you saw your family, you got your trainer. But then what kept you motivated? Because that's not what keeps you motivated. That's just a little push.
That was the start, yeah. So what's kept me motivated is knowing that, I have my family support, because that was key for me. Because I ended up losing a lot of friends on my weight loss journey.
Always happens.
Yes. But knowing that I had my mom and my siblings supporting me, that was huge for me. And then not only were they supporting me, but many of them started to change their lives. My mom loves juicing and making her own smoothies now, and eliminating the salt and getting her little workout in. Yes. So that has kept me motivated. And then also I have some friends that I've helped like with posing and, certain shows, and they kind of look up to me.
Right.
So that keeps me going and it keeps me accountable too for myself.
Didn't think you were going to be a role model in all this, did you?
No, never. Never did I think
I'm
that.
just a hometown girl trying to lose some weight.
Right.
I ain't trying to be your role model.
Right.
But it ended up happening that way.
Yes.
But I think that's very, very crucial, and that's what I love about your story is that you didn't just, you gained a lot of weight, you lost weight, and now you just moved on, and now you're just struggling trying to figure out how you're going to maintain. You're actually giving back.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is extremely important in any weight loss journey, that if you're not giving back, that's the maintenance. People say it's hard to maintain the weight. No, it's not. If you're helping other people, if you're teaching other
Keeps
people.
you accountable.
Absolutely. That is
Yes.
the accountability that any of us need. So that's the part I just love about your story,
Yes.
because that sometimes is not the common thread when you hear about a person's weight loss story. They
Yes.
gained the weight back because what? That karma. You didn't give.
Yeah.
They say give and it shall be given to you.
Yeah.
You really have to give.
In abundance, it'll be given
Absolutely.
back. Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate that. And so now this journey has taken you where?
Oh my God. So I've done 5 competitions now. Yes. Thank you.
Really?
5 competitions. My second show, I won my pro card, which means I became a professional in that
Wow.
that federation that I compete in.
Wow.
I've done some speaking engagements, photo shoots. Like I said, I've helped some girls with their posing now. So it's been great. It's been a good journey. It's not an easy journey because it takes for me to stay dedicated and committed, but it's my life now. And that's another thing. I made it my lifestyle.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. And that's huge. I'm so glad you said that, because I was going to bring that up. Get out of my head. But it's a lifestyle change. It's not something that you just do just one day. Oh, I'm on a diet for 6 months. Who's on a diet for 6 months? It's like, no. See, that's where the problem is. This is a lifestyle change.
Yes.
And so I'm so glad you said that. That's key. That in meal prep planning, I mean, prep those meals.
Yes, every Sunday.
And stop. I know we were talking in the backstage, and really, who makes 2 meals a day
I know,
for different
right?
people in the family? I'm going to tell you right now, whatever I cook, you
That's
better
what you're
eat.
eating.
Or you better go somewhere else and get
Right.
something to eat. But I can't make 2 meals just because you don't want to eat what I'm eating.
Yeah.
Or you're going to have to go find something else.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, people. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I do appreciate this
I
story.
appreciate
This
you
is
having me.
awesome. This is so awesome. I hope all of you all, somebody out there made a change today because of you.
Yeah.
If you want to know more about Fran, if you want to connect with her after the show, please go to my website. We will answer any of your questions, concerns, any ideas you would like from us. We'll connect with you. Don't go away. We'll be right back.